So this is our third session. We have also just tried out the podcast because we realized that not everyone can come to today on a session like this. So I'm so blessed that we've got all of you here, but not everyone can come at a fixed timing. We thought we'd do podcasts as well. The podcast was meant to go deep into a certain specific situation with somebody, or to seek advice from professionals in our community and for those we know, who might able to be guides, who might have psychology background, therapy background, or just life experiences to share, be it parenting, in relationships, at work, and in life in general. We would love to hear your story. So anyone who's open and interested to have an emotional coaching session, we would do that. 100% privacy, and also PDPA. And you have full flexibility on how we want to conduct the coaching. Because what I did for the first session, we didn't record the coaching at all. We recorded a review of the coaching and with the consent of our coaching client. And that was fabulous. And we learned a lot through the challenges of this one brave young soul, that there's a message that Filipinos need to hear, especially those who have gone through a lot on their own and think that they are alone in a journey. And it's all the more important that while the journey can be a lonely one, there is a rich inner self where you can discern from and make aligned actions, thoughts, and decisions. And when we talk about alignment, you're bringing in the full body experience, the full emotional experience, the full logical experience of reasoning, so that we can take into all these factors and considerations and have a prudent choice. So emotional literacy is fundamentally something that in traditional societies and culture, Beverlyn, you might want to maybe share a little bit more what you think, but in traditional cultures and society, we are told that being emotional is not such a good thing after all. Beverlyn, what was your experience of this and your opinion?
That if you show emotions, if you express your emotions and what you are feeling at that moment, you would be called overacting.
Overacting. So it's a little bit of a drama, isn't it? Dramatic.
Yeah. Don't be dramatic. You can do it, but with the facade of be positive, you buried deep down those emotions with the unmet needs, and then those will pile up.
Yeah.
And then after that, you won't notice that you are exploding.
So the bearing of it, Beverlyn, you hit the nail in the coffin there, because that bearing of the emotions, or bottling it up, or imploding within, and sometimes exploding as a result, or as a natural state. All these reactions when we allow the unexamined life to occur, which isn't about emotional fluidity. When we started, we talked about what is emotional fluidity. It's really about being able to allow the emotions to move through our experience and let them inform us through our body, through our thoughts, through our feelings, the sensations that goes around, to understand, hey, what's going on? Am I being impulsive? Just reacting as per normal because my nervous system is acting up? Or can I actually exercise some prudence, some reason to learn about, hey, what's my unmet need right now, right? So, I'm gonna just do a quick time check. We're gonna start at 9, so there's 3 more minutes. What I'll be doing for a start, we've got some people joining already. I'm just gonna wait another 3 more minutes. And I'm gonna go back to presentation. Okay. Well, while waiting, it's good to understand a little bit more about the emotions that may arise. So here's activity that we all can do, and we might be contemplating some difficult moments in our life. And it's very important from a fundamental basis. Everything begins with feeling and staying regulated in your window of tolerance. And what that really means is that while reflecting on, say, anger, I had a bout of anger just last night, and that caused me to be wrapped in my head for quite a bit. I actually only have slept 2 hours last night. And in that anger, I was alerted to how responsive my nervous system is, and pleasantly surprised that instead of under functioning like I used to, meaning to say that my body takes the hit and it gets physically overwhelmed until it's tired out and I zone out or space out. Last night, I got into an anger mode. And for those who are wondering why this is a positive sign, it's really because I'm borrowing text from polyvagal theory. I'm moving from a dorsal vagal state to a more of a, which means a sleepy, tired, lethargic state, to more of a energized, fighting stage where I feel angry. And why am I angry? I'm angry because there are some boundaries that I have not maintained. There's some stressors that is currently going on in my life right now, and I haven't been able to secure the perimeter fencing to keep me safe within that boundary. And what that means is that if something else comes up that I need to do more of, even the tiniest details, admin matters, household chores, things to do, tasks, small little tasks, even driving the family around, all these add on and creep through the boundaries, the perimeter fencing, and makes me feel unsafe. So as I reflected on how I needed so much isolation and rest, which I did not get over the weekend. I was with the in-laws, then was with my family and so on. And before that, we had friends visiting from overseas, from the Netherlands. And how much of that time was spent not getting what I wanted and what I needed. And it culminated on a Sunday night of anger where I just couldn't sleep. So where was I? I was on dysregulation and regulation, yes. So it's very important as we rekindle or we may revisit, I hope not, emotions that are not necessarily pleasant and comfortable to us. It's important to start regulating. So it's now 1 minute past 9, and let's start the shift proper. By just centering ourselves, we can find a comfortable position and feel the contact points between either your feet on the floor or where you are seated, where your bum is on the surface, pressing down against the surface. Just take note of that experience with your eyes open or closed. Just allow yourself to settle into a position where you're observant. What are you observing? Perhaps the weight and sensation of the contact points. How much pressure are you exerting? Where is that pressure? Is it more forward-leaning pressure? Is the weight more central? Is it more backwards? And if you can, and if you like to, it might be useful to feel that your back is supported so you can sit against the wall or on a chair with a backrest. If not, that's also fine. You may also want to explore using your breath in and gently breathing out. How heavy or light your mind is. Is your brain feeling spacey, dreamy, tired? Or is your brain frantic, running across different thoughts that pop up, or anywhere in between? Just take a moment to observe yourself. And let's take a couple of deep breaths in. And if you like to, make a relaxing sigh out. Another one in. And breathe out. Okay, I was just about to end the little bit of a mindfulness awareness. Did I end that well? Okay, thank you very much. And okay, I'm so sorry, but things like these do happen, and when they do, especially as a day like today, um, perhaps we can have the audience start to share with us their emotions as well. So just the emotion journey by sending us a text and putting that on the Google Meet. So what we can do is later on, we will have a little exercise. And we can move into emotional literacy. Okay? So when I talk about listing down the emotions, especially when I get cut off or disconnected, and you can help me help promote the idea of emotional literacy. What am I talking about? 3 years ago, we started this website. It's turning 4 actually, 4 years ago. It's based on this Sufi poet's writing called The Guest House. It's a poem. And it talks about every emotions as guests in your guest house. And that was fundamentally game-changing for me. Why? Because I have been struggling with anger And I had fused that anger with my identity. I would say I'm an angry person. And over time, it would have caused a lot of self-blame that I shouldn't be doing this. Obviously, because when I'm angry, I'm upsetting a lot of people. I'm getting angry at people. And that would come across as challenging, confrontational for them, especially those that I love. Um, but it says, welcome and entertain them all because they are wise guides that could provide divine wisdom if you examine them properly. So then I started this feeling human to explore how our emotions move. And emotions, I was so surprised because just last year I learned that the Latin word, the root word of emotions is movement. And it's nothing bad or wrong or good, but it's just a movement. And so that movement in itself is neutral. The meaning that we make out of it can then be made positive or negative, right? So here's a little bit of meaning making for us. For those who have joined our community before this, and we have done the mentoring call previously. So this is an example of what I like to do and what we like to do together today as a group. And I would, and this is a challenge to myself and to you as well, the audience here out there. If you want to start exploring your inner world, you have to start taking that action. And it's not just about listening to what I have to say, it's about taking action. Now, for those who have done this before, the question to you is how often you do this. For those who are about to do it, just take a good hard look and try. All right, because that's all that's needed. All right. So what this exercise is we are going to look back to a recent day. For example, just yesterday, and let's start with just one day, yesterday. List down the emotion that you experience and the intensity of it. 5 being most intense, 1 being slightly intense and not fully intense. So 3 would be middle ground, 5 would be really intense. You feel it like you've never felt it before, one of the peak moments that you've felt it. Okay, that kind of peak experience. So 1 to 5. So if yesterday I experienced anger 3 times at different intensities, I would just list them 3 different times. Even if they are in the same intensity because I experienced them in a different order, different time of the day, for example, I would still just list them down. It could be anger for the whole day. That's important to me because later on I'll share that I also experienced joy. There were moments of contentment because as I was trying to regulate myself, I went for a walk to buy dinner for the family to try to get my isolation. I get those needs met. They were just not enough yesterday. Okay? And I felt some impulsiveness, just that impulse to want to get out. It wasn't really strong and intense, but there was that. So I did experience all these many emotions. And so with this exercise, we're going to spend just 3 minutes doing this. And once you're done, I encourage you strongly to either paste all the emotions on the chat, or for those that you're looking at this from Facebook, you can put it in the comment section. And if not, really just write it down if you can. And if you don't have a pen and paper, put it in your phone. And if you don't have a phone, at least make a mental note of it. All right. So there's no reason why we are not going to do this for the next 3 minutes, starting from now. Okay. And if you do have questions, you can raise your hand. If we're good to go, give me a thumbs up when you're ready. When you're done, I'll just wait on it. All right. Thank you very much. Just testing. If you want to do a test, we can put a reaction here, celebration, because we're here to celebrate emotions or heart shape. Okay, keep going, Ignatius. We really feel encouraged by your thoughts and your words. Good job to me. But if you're still puzzled, show me this, like give me a question mark. If I'm doing a bad job, go ahead, tell me really directly, because that's how I learn. That's how Bevelyn can learn as well. And that's how we improve and grow the community, which is all what we want. Well, Bevelyn, well, nice. Okay, frustration. Oh, you were at frustration at 5. And you also had courage. That was nice. Okay, while others are still typing up their text, I'm still waiting on. Maybe, Bevelyn, you want to share what went on with you? Was this yesterday or when was this? Yeah, I'm going to drop her text. Okay, maybe Bevelyn is not so ready yet. I'm gonna go ahead and write down mine. So I'm gonna work backwards from the night, right? Yeah, I'm gonna write a physical sensation also. I'm gonna make a mental note. Taking experience. We have Brenda as well. Wow, this is lovely. Thank you, Brenda, for sharing. And this is an observation that is refreshing for us because Thank you. Lots of love to you and everyone who was brave enough to explore this as well. We realize that we, in the moment, there's a lot of negativity out there. But when we settle down and look at what happened and transpired, we are also open to seeing that there's lots more going on that balances out the day. And we can have self doubt. And if at the back and throughput of that self doubt is courage, wow, that's fantastic, right? Isn't that stepping into a new frontier and feeling good about it? But yet, there's also that frustration, and frustration comes with impatience as well, usually. Why? Because we know we want to get there. There's a part of us that's conflicted that doesn't want to get there, wants to protect yourself, want to feel safe, want to stand pat, stay put. And then there's that frustration. I should have done this. I could have done this better. Or there's a frustration that's at somebody else. Shouldn't somebody else have done this better than me? Or in double the time that I expected to? Why is it not happening at all? Why are things not moving? So that's frustration for us. And yes, there's always guilt, and guilt is a retrospective it puts us in the time frame of the past, looking backwards. And when we do look backwards, sometimes there's nostalgia, guilt, shame, regret. But at the same time, when we do move ourselves back into the present and also in the future, we do experience gratitude, gratefulness. That's also from the past, sorry, but we do experience hope at the same time. So it really depends on how we orientate where we are in our timeline. Are we present? Are we looking back in the past? Are we looking forward in the future? It also looks, this is a brilliant exercise that Dan Newby had shared at the School of Emotions that I really love, and I like everyone to have this practice. If you can do this at pockets of times a day, say you can do this 3 times a day. Heck, if you can't do this once a day. And you still can't, even once a week, or at any moment you think of it, I'm just going to write down all the emotions that I experienced today. And you realize that you are not a particular emotion. And your life is more complex in a rich way, dynamic in that sense, because it's not one dimensional. It's not just a difficult experience, but we tend to get sucked into that. Okay. And so this is done for you to understand, to move through quickly. We do not want to dwell on, I was angry at 5, and then I go at intensity of 5 and I go into that situation, because that's not what our intention is. Our intention is not to re-trigger your nervous system, to get that bottom brain, the amygdala, fired up again. We want to stay at that prefrontal cortex level where you can use your reasoning, your logic, your emotions to understand what's going on. And we do that by doing a light touch, writing down intensity and also the emotion, and moving on from there. Okay, so this is a short exercise. Just a shout out to anyone. I know some of you just joined. Anyone who has not done it and wants to spend a little bit more time, just give me a reaction that is either thumbs down, no, please stay here. If we are good to go, give me the thumbs up like this, or give me something celebratory, or clap, whatever it is. Let me know so that I can move on. Yep. Hello, Raymond. We have Raymond who just joined. For Raymond, we'll try to catch up. I'll still move through, but what we are doing is a quick exercise of putting in your emotions and the intensity, and through a course of time period, reflecting backwards, say like what happened yesterday for you, or last evening for me. Mine all here was all last evening. Okay, so time to move. Now, This is a framework which I call the house of emotional fluidity. At the top of the house, you have your apex, right? Of living a life with purpose, having that inner peace that is aligned, and working out that purpose, you tend to contribute in some form to yourself, to your loved ones, and to society. And that's where all of us have the potential to arrive at. And at the bottom of it is our lowest level self. If we're remaining in survival mode, that is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the nature of how our life circumstances are. And we are always still in survival mode. We can actually seek to go upwards. How do we do that? We explore what's going on in our brain. I loosely put it, the downstairs brain or the bottom brain, which is your amygdala hijack, your nervous system, which is overriding because you are always constantly looking out for potential dangers and pitfalls. All right. And then we're also utilizing the upstairs brain, which has a right and left brain, very loosely generalized viewpoint, where left brainers tend to emphasize logic and reason a little bit more. Right brainers tend to express it more artistically or maybe in their bodies, through their bodies, and they can think through creative metaphors and different ways of expressing things. So we're using all our faculties and our body as well as we move up to the next level, using our somatic awareness, which is using our body to understand what's going on, giving our brains giving us the permission to feel what we feel and to label it, and then to integrate that with logic. So where emotions are integrated with our body experiences and moving along, just to show you sometimes we do feel a lot. And it's not drama mama, right? It is feeling that and allowing that to express itself. And then integrate it with the thoughts and beliefs about ourselves. And how do we master this? First fundamental block, emotional regulation. If we are able to have 5, 10, 15 different ways to perk ourselves up when we are feeling down or when we are over agitated, to calm ourselves down. And if we don't have that 5, 10, 15 ways, at least one that we can rely upon ourselves. Okay? So that we can build up this emotional literacy within us. That takes practice. That's a journey. And when we have done this, we are quite aware of our beliefs and values. And this is where we use our beliefs and values to act with purpose. To act with purpose so that we can, once again, utilize the throughput, right? Coming in and out, using our left brain, our right brain, all of our brain, right? The downstairs brain, in that harmony, that dance, so that we can achieve purpose, peace, alignment, contribution. So, for example, just letting you know that I was very kind of like heightened in terms of my sense of threat. And that was boiling over yesterday because we are in the midst of a lot of movement changes in the family where we're staying and so on. And there's a lot of tasks to do. I'm also in a mood, I'm yearning for time to think through what this feeling human would look like as a non-profit, as a mission for us, how to sustain it, how to grow the community. And I'm also wondering what am I going to do for my own career profession, right? Do I remain an emotions coach or do I do something else more related to emotions, but more in the business setting, for example? That's perhaps where the money would be to fund this feeding human. So I had all these wrapped around me. and my amygdala was firing up, and my nervous system was all over the place. But today, now that I can use all of my body to express this out as I'm talking to you, verbalizing what's going on, I'm integrating it back to the left and right brain. I'm bringing myself up so that I can go back into this purposeful discussion here with you to talk to you about the house of emotional fluidity. Okay? So, this is an exclusive invitation for you to join us in our community and support the community. Right now, if you click, if you scan this QR, you'll go to a page where we will post all these slides and more into the community as we grow it. But more importantly, your donations, your membership will support us in growing emotional literacy and fluidity and regulation so that everyone has access. And then they choose. Do they want to stay regulated? Do they want to be more emotional literate? So that they can explore their unmet needs. And when we're able to explore our unmet needs and take purposeful action that's aligned to our beliefs and values, how powerful will you be? So here's a question. How powerful will you be? Will I be? Is your reflection. How powerful will I be if I'm more able to stay regulated first when I feel the need for regulation? Okay? We're going to start at regulation first. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to drop this. Oh, thank you. We have one more emotional literacy right up. Thank you for your participation. Maybe I'll change the question a little bit. What would life be if I can stay regulated longer through physical peace? Okay? And I'm going to break that down even more. For those out there who could just stay 10 seconds more regulated than normal, what impact would that have on my relationships? Just 10 seconds more. Okay. Someone raise a hand. You have a question? Feel free to ask. You can drop in a chat or you can speak in Tagalog. Bevelyn, would you like to translate what I've written into Tagalog? And you can put it in the chat group as well. For those who can do 10 seconds, are thinking of that, right? Can I do this 10 seconds? You're going to practice what it means to have 10 more seconds in at least 5 different ways. Okay? In at least 5 different ways. And this is where I hope my internet doesn't break down on me like earlier it did. Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, when should I consider professional direction? So, because we are going to start talking, we are starting to talk about nervous system dysregulation. So, there are two situations I would consider, two different professional directions I would consider. One would be to seek a coach to work on a set of behaviors that you want for yourself, a positive behavior. The other one is to explore whether they are internal or intrinsic qualities or situations that can't actually really fully be resolved and you require professional help. Uh, and that would mean therapy. What I mean by intrinsic qualities, if there are certain diagnosed conditions, for example, or situations that require professional therapy support, to help you move through a difficult situation, this is where you should consider seeking help with a psychotherapist, a counselor, or a well-being practitioner. If there are positive behaviors that you like to cultivate, you can maybe it's in emotional regulation. You can look for expert in that field, breath work, mindfulness practitioners. You can look for a behavioral coach or emotion-centered coach like myself. That's where you can consider professional direction. And that is for your personal discernment. But what I do offer is I do offer emotion coaching sessions. And if you click the Buy Me a Coffee link, I believe there's a special promotion for members to have 2 coaching sessions with me for free. All right. But so here's the 2 coaching sessions for free that I was telling you about. And more importantly, can you encourage us or encourage others? If you like to review us, if you like to share our content, please go ahead. We love your support, and your financial support is also important to us. We would appreciate. Again, this is a social purpose, a social mission. I really would like us to experience the growth together as a community, as one, united in this belief that we all can reach our purpose, right? Work through inner wisdom and alignment to reach fluidity. So today we are at this point, emotional regulation. And the goal is introduce at least 5 things that you could use to calm yourself down, to stay in the ventral vagal state, which is a state where you are able to use the faculties of your brain and exercise prudence and wisdom. All right. So before we begin with me teaching, I'm going to ask, can you list down some ways that you currently calm yourself down with? All right. And you can just list them down. Overthinking. Brenda says, life would be more grounded and empowering for me if I could stay regulated. Well done. Nice. For just 10 seconds longer. And we're going to get there, Brenda. Now, to Brenda, if you don't mind having this courage already, you've done so much. What are the couple of things that you always go to feel better about the situation? Sometimes perhaps even better about yourself. And there's no right, no wrong. It could be, for me, my go-to is I need to sometimes. I will need to binge eat to bring the emotion in to my body. So I may need to eat. And there were times where it would affect me quite badly, but I knew I needed it. Okay? And for me, it's to just release it at times, although these are not as ideal. But what are your current go-to for emotional regulation? What are the 1 or 2 things that you definitely will do to try to calm yourself down? Watching TV will be one of them, right? Eating, for me, is one of them. What are the many other things that you currently do? Can you list them down in the chat? Or at least let me know you've thought about it with a reaction that comes up, with a good sign or something like that, so that I know that, we're good to start. All right, Brenda, thanks. Okay, for those who are overthinking, right? Bevelyn says, there's a lot of things in my head. And that's what happened when we coach our our first and last podcast, not the last, but the latest podcast that we have, was our client was overthinking, and it was really much felt in the head, and also, of course, in the heart area. The chest area was very tight. Okay, so we're going to first work on this, and just going to pause for a moment by centering ourselves in through the deep breath in. And hold. Yes. Talking to someone really helps. Reading and exercising, there's a physiological need that allows us to move through exercise. Just a caution, some of you may feel already angry and upset, and the exercise makes it worse, makes it more intense. That could also be so. What I'm saying is that sometimes things work for an individual, but not another individual. Yeah. What could have happened there would be you would be reactivating your nervous system into an arousal state again, and then that brain is flush with oxygen for you to think more, and it doesn't just get out of the system. So different people encounter different situations and process them in different ways. All right. So you're starting to think about it, right? When I'm experiencing some form of difficult situation, what are the one or two things that are my go-to experiences that I need to do? For me, I need to leave the area straight away. I need to be alone. I need to take a deep breath in and out. Okay. So these are my go-to, but what happens if I'm in the car and I can't leave, right? I can't rely on something external. When my boss is berating me, I can't go to my phone and watch Netflix, can I? That's not possible, right? That might be possible, but at an expense that you might not wish to have happen to you. Okay. So what are the things that are within our control? We don't have to rely on gadgets, phones, computers, laptops, the music. We don't have to rely on any of these, and we can exercise some regulation. All right. The first and foremost is centering. Just allowing that space to be aware of what is happening in my body right now as I'm feeling angrier, as I'm feeling more frustrated. Right? What is happening? Sometimes we experience that tightness of our chest. So it's important there, the body awareness, because the body gives the clue. The emotion is expressed first in the body. Sometimes it's about breaking down, freezing up, feeling tired, so our head gets more spacey. Okay? So number one, body awareness, right? And we're talking about this under an overfunctioning. When our thoughts, for those who think a lot, overfunction, or when our thoughts are running through and we are getting more and more aroused, what tends to happen there, right? Do we feel a headache? Do we feel more tired or stuck in the what happens there? And for that, then is to allow the experience to move across the other parts of our body. Just the awareness and moving that, maybe through a breath. in and out. So what is 10 seconds? 10 seconds is 4 counts in and 6 counts out. Okay? 4 counts in and 6 counts out. That's number 2. Number 3. You see me doing this? This is a neck rub, right? Just relaxing, stretching allows us to change our posture. Anyone goes like this, feel down, and they have their rounded shoulders. When they feel down and blue and upset, sad, for example, a stretch like this opens up the body. And so for those parents who have young children and they are difficult, and you find it difficult for them to express their feelings to you, their emotions to you, you can take note of their body posture and help them to open up their body posture. All right? You could stretch together with your partner in your relationship, for example. If you're feeling down and you want some support, you can do it together. That's all it takes to regulate. There's one more. Soft ice. Soft ice. Soft ice is a practice that nobody will notice that you're regulating. And I love it because when I'm in my head thinking about things, feeling frustrated, my eyes tend to get heavy here and the muscles here tighten up. What soft ice is imagine, the camera goes from a 1.0 times zoom to a 0.5 times zoom, right? And your eyes just open up. They become panoramic like an owl. And you soften and you feel this part, the muscles under your eyes, relaxing a little bit. And for those who don't understand what soft ice feels like, try tightening up your eyes, your eye muscles here, and try relaxing them. And you still can't, open this up. Okay? Open up, rub around the eyes, blink a while, settle into a soft gaze. That'll be soft eyes. Okay? Now, there are many more. For those who feel tired, what could help is to tap. Just tap your toes, tap your fingers. Just do a little bit of a neck stretch. Look up, change your posture. Take a deep breath in and out. Yes, to observe them. That's right. To observe the emotions as they come. Yes, Brenda. Okay. Now, we've come to the end of our session. Any questions here? You may just want to ask them verbally. You can unmute and ask me a question, fire away. You can put it down in the chat message. Or you feel free to leave if you like to. I'm just going to stay here for 5 more minutes to answer any questions if there are. And again, really, we have done this for 3 years. We have grown our community to 15, 20,000 people here on our socials. And it's time to grow that 10 times. And we're looking to you for support, to more content, for more support through your likes, your comments, your sharing, your forwarding out, and also your participation here. So thank you very much. And we would love that the outcome of this is a vibrant community that's looking internally, exploring ways to reach that inner peace and alignment so that they can purposefully live their life and contribute to those who they love, for themselves, and for this world around them. Okay? So welcome all to the shift in the Philippines. Welcome to the world within you. All right? If you need some direction, you'd like to support us, scan the QR code, and we would really appreciate the support. Thank you very much. This Feeling Human won't survive without your support. All right. So thank you very much for your participation. Like, subscribe, do what it takes for the algorithms to pick up our message if you think that it's important. If not, it's good learning. Maybe we should just shut up and stop doing what we do. All right. Thank you. But that's not that's not something I'm even considering. All right. Forging ahead. See you, everybody.